6.5 Creedmoor or 308 Winchester? The age-old question. Welcome back to the Overlanding Creation channel. Today we're going to dive into both these calibers, both my rifles, and I'm going to share my opinion as far as what I like about them and maybe see if we can settle the whole 308 and 6.5 Creedmoor debate. I doubt that's going to happen. There seems to be some pretty strong opinions on both sides of the spectrum, but nonetheless, it's a great topic, and at the end of the day, I think they're both great calibers. Okay, on my left over here, I have the SIG Cross. This is chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. I believe it has a 22-inch barrel. It's a heavy profile barrel. I really like the platform as far as the rifle itself. It has a really great bolt, collapsible stock over here. So that collapses down, which makes it very easy to throw it in a backpack, maneuver it around. There's a lot of great features. I'm not going to go into the rifle too much today. We more or less want to talk about the actual caliber. I have my MDT ground pod on the front. Very lightweight carbon fiber legs, easy to use. It has your cant lever on the back there. Really big fan of the MDT ground pod. It's kind of somewhere in the middle as far as price point is concerned. You know, if you don't want to spend $500 plus on a bipod, if you're not using it for competition or something, I think the ground pod's a great option. And then they also have one that's a little bit cheaper. The MDT Oryx bipod is a little bit cheaper as well, so that's kind of on the lower end. Your ground pod falls right in the middle. For the price, I think it was about $200. I think it's a great bipod. But yeah, love the rifle, SIG Cross. Like I said, this has the longer barrel. Most of the Cross rifles are 18-inch barrels. You can get it in 308 or the 6.5 Creedmoor. I think you can also get it in 277 Fury. I think they're still selling that, but 6.5 Creedmoor and 308 you can get in either caliber. This one was kind of a special edition they did with the longer 22-inch barrel, which had that heavy profile barrel. It was exactly what I was looking for, and I'll explain that. I'll explain my reasoning behind that in just a second. But yeah, as far as the rifle, absolutely love it. You have your adjustable comb height. You have your adjustable length of pull there. Great platform. You can put, I believe this is a 5-round mag. I know I also have a 10-round mag. So you kind of have some flexibility there. Up on top, I have my Vortex Viper PST Gen 2. Don't really need to say much about that. They've been around for a long time. Phenomenal rifle scopes. Have a anti-cant Vortex bubble level up top, a SIG cantilever mount. Yeah, great setup. On the front here, I have my Silencer Co. Scythe STM. That's the stainless steel version of the Scythe silencer. And then it also has a muzzle brake on the end there. Great silencer. Has the ASR quick detach on the front, which is nice. I can transfer it to various rifles. So yeah, that's my 6.5 Creedmoor. Over here on the right, which I guess I should have started with this because this was actually the rifle that I had first when I was going into kind of a mid-range caliber here. This is my Armalite AR-10 308. I was looking to get a AR-10 AR-308 large frame AR platform, and I went with the Armalite because I heard great results as far as accuracy is concerned. They make phenomenal barrels. This is a 20-inch barrel, so kind of that mid-range is short enough to use it comfortably as a gas gun. You can maneuver with it, but you still get that kind of maximum accuracy out of that 20-inch barrel versus 16 or 18-inch. Yeah, phenomenal barrel, cold hammer forged, chrome lined barrel, very good accuracy. Comes with the Armalite. That's their like proprietary muzzle brake, works really well. So yeah, so I wanted something that was kind of more of a DMR role. Something that, like I said, was a gas gun. I could have very quick follow-up shots. I wanted something that was accurate, but it didn't need to be high-level precision accurate, if that makes sense. I wanted something that was around that 1 MOA, 1 to 1.5 MOA gun, but it didn't need to be like sub-MOA. So this is what I went with. I went with the Armalite. Also, I like the fact that technically the only AR-308 that can actually be called an AR-10 is Armalite, because Armalite actually developed and built the original Armalite AR-10. So this is the only true AR-10. Anything else is considered an AR-308. So thought that was kind of cool. So that's what I went with. It has the Luth AR stock. I don't mind it. I've thought about changing it out. You can adjust the length of pull, the comb height, things like that. It has a ambi charging handle, Radiant Raptor ambi charging handle. Up top we have the Vortex Venom. This is a 5-25 by 56. It does have a larger objective lens. My Vortex Viper PST Gen 2 is 5-25 as well. Both phenomenal optics. The reason why I went with the Venom for this, the Viper for that, those of you that are familiar with the Vortex optics know that the Venom is kind of more on their budget end of things. The Viper, while it's not the most expensive, you have the Razors at the very top of the spectrum, but the Viper is considered more of their premium optic. You have Japanese glass, very high level movement in the turrets, very clear glass. The Venom is a phenomenal optic. I've actually used this a lot and I really love it. I think for the money, the Venom may actually be a better buy because it's significantly cheaper and the difference is minimal. Beautiful glass, very clear. Really have had no complaints with it. But my thought process was for something like the AR-10, I wanted something that was going to be, it didn't need to be quite as precise. It didn't make sense for me to spend $500 more just to get some clearer glass because I wasn't going to be engaging targets out, past 1,000 yards. With my 6.5 Creedmoor, this I built as more of a sniper setup. So again, the idea with this one was more of a DMR, which stands for Designated Marksman's Rifle. Something that you can take precise shots with, but something that you want to be able to maneuver easily, carry more ammo, and probably fire a little bit faster, have those faster follow-up shots, which is why I went with the gas gun. And then this setup was supposed to be more of a sniper setup. I have the suppressor on the end. It's bolt action. This is a very, very accurate gun. I personally have shot half-inch groups with this, and I know it's capable of even doing better than that. I've seen other people on YouTube shoot better groups than even half an inch. So phenomenal accuracy out of this gun. So this was something that I wanted for longer range out past 1,000 yards, something where I could take very precise shots, like I said, sub half inch, sub half MOA. And so I went with something that had slightly better glass. To me, shooting out past that 1,000-yard mark, especially if you're really trying to identify targets and stuff, it just made sense to go with the better glass. So that's why I went with the Viper there. Okay, now let's jump into the ammo side of things. So as far as 308 is concerned, the benefits of 308, well, there's a lot of benefits, but today we're just going to talk about the caliber itself. The 308 is a 30 caliber round, so it does have a wider cross section. The 6.5 Creedmoor is a 26 caliber 2.264, I believe, or 6.5 millimeter. So it is a slightly smaller, the bullet itself is slightly smaller. So as you can see, the 6.5 Creedmoor is a little bit smaller than the 308. As far as grain weight, the 308 is typically heavier as well. I brought out a couple examples here. Now obviously both calibers can be purchased in a variety of different grain weights, but for the most part, I'm gonna look on the higher end of the spectrum. So this is my Federal Premium Gold Medal match. It's a very common round for 308. This is in 168 grains. Another very popular one is 175. So typically speaking, around that 175 grain weight for the 308 is that higher end as far as weight. And then on the 6.5 Creedmoor, this is the Nosler RDF. This is an 140 grain. Typically 140, the Hornady makes a 143 and a 147. So for the most part, 147 is on that higher end of the grain weight. So there again, you are kind of maxing out around that 147 grain versus 175 grain on the 308. Now I know you can go heavier on both calibers. I'm just saying as far as what you see most commonly in most guns, those are kind of the heavier grain weights for those two bullets. Now my Nosler RDF, this is 147 or 140 grain. The Federal Premium Gold Medal Match with the Sierra Match King bullets are 168. But I also do hand loading. So just to give you an example, this is 308. I hand loaded 175 grain Sierra Match King. And with this, I'm using CFE 223 powder. I'm actually able to get a little bit more velocity by hand loading the 308, and then the same with the 6.5 Creedmoor. This is the 147 grain Hornady ELD match, and I'm using the Hodgdon H4350 powder. There again, I can push the velocities a little bit higher while still remaining safe, no pressure signs or anything like that. So obviously when you're dealing with box ammo, you can always go a little bit beyond box ammo. Well, I shouldn't say always, but usually you can go a little beyond box ammo by hand loading. So one thing I thought was interesting when I was looking over these this ammo that I wanted to show, because it made a great comparison, giving you a good example of how the 308 is heavier than the 6.5 Creedmoor and provides the same amount of energy. The Nosler RDF has a 140 grain bullet and is traveling 2,650 feet per second from the muzzle, whereas the 308 is a 168 grain bullet and it is producing the same amount of speed from the muzzle. So also 2,650 feet per second. Let me see if I can show you this. So again, 6.5 Creedmoor, 140 grain is going at 2,650 feet per second, whereas 308 is pushing a much heavier bullet, 168 grain, at the same velocity, 2,650 feet per second. So I think that's a great side-by-side comparison of you have two rounds going the same exact speed out of the muzzle. However, the 308 is a significantly heavier bullet, so you're having a lot more energy from the muzzle. Now, obviously, the further you go down range, things change. The 6.5 Creedmoor does a little better job at cutting through the wind. It has a higher ballistic coefficient. Think higher BC, the easier the bullet is able to cut through the air and resist that gravity and wind. So even though the 6.5 Creedmoor is a smaller bullet, so it has a little less energy from the muzzle, but because it has a higher BC, it's able to travel flatter for further. I hope you guys were able to understand that. But again, so they both have their strengths and weaknesses. Again, the reason why I went with 308 for my DMR is it gives me more stopping power and it's a little harder hitting close range. So under 1,000 yards, really within 800 yards, the 308 gives me a larger bullet. It's a heavier bullet and I'm getting a little bit more energy. So if I were to use this as a DMR platform, I know that I have a little bit more stopping power. Now with the 6.5 Creedmoor, the benefits of this is I have more precision downrange. I know that this bullet is going to resist the wind a little bit better. I know it's going to travel a little bit flatter. And for the most part, in my experience, they're a little bit more consistent on target, probably because the wind doesn't affect them as much. So it still provides a lot of energy, 1,000 yards and beyond. You can absolutely take medium to large game with a 6.5 Creedmoor. But again, I wanted something that was a little bit more precise for those longer range shots, and I didn't need as much close range energy or takedown power with the 6.5 Creedmoor. So that's why I think the 6.5 Creedmoor makes a great sniper round, whereas the 308 makes a great DMR round. Now I do have another sniper rifle that I consider my long range sniper rifle. That's chambered in 300 Win Mag. Also a very highly accurate round, but it's going to be carrying much more energy a lot further. We'll go into that in another video, so I don't want to dig into that in this video, but the 6.5 Creedmoor is a great sniper round for, like I said, that 1,000 and beyond, probably 1,000, 1,200, you'd have no problem. Out past that, that's when I would switch over to my 300 Win Mag. I shot out to a mile fairly consistently with a 300 Win Mag. Also 338 Lapua Magnum, 300 Norma Magnum, of course 50 caliber, but that's not used as much for long range sniping. as the 300 Norma, the 338, and the 300 Win Mag. Of course, I do have to mention the 300 PRC. It's becoming a lot more popular for long range shooting as well. But again, that's for another video. Okay, so to wrap things up for this video, I want to know from you guys, what is your favorite round? Do you prefer the 308? Are you one of the 6.5 guys? Let me know down in the comments below. Let me know what kind of rifle you run, what caliber you prefer, and why you like it. You know, is there something that the 308 has that I hadn't really thought about, or a reason why you chose the 6.5 Creedmoor over the 308 for various reasons? Or maybe like me, you have both of them because they both serve great purposes. So let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to know what you guys' opinion is. Please be sure to like the video. YouTube is very finicky, unfortunately, when it comes to videos. I have one video that I put up that does really well. Everybody sees it, and then I have another video that just seems to be shoved in a corner somewhere and nobody's seeing it. So if you guys like the video and comment on it, it really helps the YouTube algorithm to get the video out so more people can see it. So I appreciate if you guys do that. And as always, I always appreciate if you guys subscribe to the channel. There's going to be a lot more great gun content. There's going to be a lot more survival, camping, outdoor content if that's what you guys are into. I'll be posting some of that as well. And again, feel free to let me know in the comments, what kind of content do you prefer? I'd be happy to adjust accordingly. If you guys want more guns, I have a lot more gun content that I can provide. Or I love getting out in the woods, camping, doing survival situations. So let me know that down in the comments. One last thing, guys, I want to touch on before I go. I mentioned in the last two videos, if you're following the series so far, Torch EDC provided a backpack to the channel for me to give away to one of my subscribers. So as I mentioned in the previous videos, if you're subscribed to the channel, if you commented on either of the last two videos, and if you follow me on Instagram, you are in the running for the Torch EDC backpack. It's a 30-liter backpack. If you want to learn more about it, check out my two previous videos where I talked about my backpack that I personally use. It's the same exact backpack, just a different color. But really excited to give this away to one of you guys. So again, I will be doing the drawing tonight, and I will be messaging them on Instagram, as well as if you look down in the comments of this video, I will, in the description, I will put who the winner of the backpack is. It will also be in the pinned comment below. So thanks again, guys, for commenting, for participating in the giveaway. Really excited to give this away, and best of luck to whoever wins it. All right, that'll do it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for sticking to the end. I'm going to try to keep posting every Monday as long as everything goes well. So stay watching the channel for future videos that I post. I will catch you in the next video.